Welcome to Rhythm of Justice Television. I'm your host, Salim Adofo. Today we are here with Washington, D.C.'s own Anderson Hall. We will be right back. Welcome back to Rhythm of Justice Television. I'm your host, Salim Adofo. This is where art meets activism. Today we are here with DC's own favorite comedian, Mr. Anderson Hall. How you doing, sir?
Hey everybody, what's up, Salim? My name's Andy Man Candy, everything's so dandy, recipes from Uncle Randy. I be chilling in the cut like peroxide is bubbling up per usual. But some people may know me as Andy the Boss, Kung Blue Panda, Andy the Teacher. But my real name is Anderson T. Hall.
Okay. Now look, we're gonna try to get through this episode, right? Without telling too many jokes and laughing.
Okay.
But I do think that, comedians play a very important role, in our society. Being able to laugh, sometimes laugh at ourselves, is very important. So I definitely want to just give you a big shout out. I scroll through your TikTok, I scroll through your Instagram page, and I'm like, man, this guy is hilarious.
I be trying. I be trying.
Very creative, and I think that, in the world, there's so much going on, where so many people are dealing with a lot of mental health issues, a lot of family issues, a lot of issues at work, relationships. Sometimes we just need to laugh because it's good for the soul.
For sure.
And so, to some degree, laughter can be medicinal. So you're a doctor in some way, shape, or form. So I really just want to say thank you for that.
No problem.
So tell us a little about yourself. Where did you grow up at?
So I was born and raised, funny story.
Okay.
So I always get on people for not being from DC.
Right.
I was born in Maryland. But I was raised all my life in D.C., same house. You know what I'm saying? So 30 years of D.C. versus 1 hour in a hospital, I could call myself from D.C.
All right, where'd you go to high school?
High school, went to a school called DeMatha Catholic High School. It's a Trinitarian school off Route 1 in Maryland.
Right. Now, DeMatha is known for its athletics.
I mean, I'm a bucket, you know what I'm saying? It's, the only reason why I didn't make
mop
varsity.
bucket?
Basketball bucket.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
thought you meant mop bucket.
I'm like, I was more of a rugby player, and I played football a little bit, but I really
So
wanted to play basketball.
We're not gonna skate over what you just said. You said you were a rugby player.
Yeah.
Now I know a lot of people that I grew up with from the Caribbean that played rugby.
Okay.
How did you get into rugby?
So it was a funny story. So the coach of DeMatha rugby right now is the person that coached me my first rugby game as a youth at 8 years old.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's a group in DC called DC Youth Rugby League, and it's the Washington Warriors. And I was a part of that team, and we had fun scrimmaging other players from different places, just coming to different tournaments. It was a good experience. It wasn't tackle when we're young, but the older you get, it gets more intense. And it's a gentleman's game, and it's funny, cool story about rugby. Rugby was a game of king and queens, where instead of going to fight, kill people, they would play a match of rugby to claim their land in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Now where'd you go to college at?
Oh.
Where'd you finish college at?
Well, I finished college. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you the whole thing. So I went to South Carolina State after I graduated from DeMatha.
HBCU.
For about 5 years, and then during my time there, my dad passed away, so I was going through a lot, suffered from depression and schizophrenia. Then I went to the hospital to get myself mentally checked. Thought I was good, went to Virginia State, partied too much. You know what I'm saying? It was a great school, great education. I just never went to class. I was too busy partying, trying to have fun. I had the biggest dorm, you know what I'm saying, not doing the right thing. So then around 2019, I buckled down. I think I met you around the same time at UDC, and I decided to get my degree in digital media with concentration in film and documentary. And I just graduated in 2022.
Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Now, when did you get involved in comedy?
Comedy been with me all my life, but I didn't take it seriously until COVID.
Okay.
COVID gave me a new option of how to express myself without being in front of people. Because usually I was just like act out in front of people, like show off in front of people. Then COVID hit, and I couldn't see those people every day like I used to. So I had to figure out how can I reach them from my house or from where I'm at. And one of my little cousins is like, let's do a TikTok. It went viral. I was like,
wow.
How did that? Okay, let me tap into it. tapped into TikTok, and it was a wrap.
How do you continuously find the inspiration to do comedy?
Everybody's funny. You can remix. I'm not saying it's copyright or whatever, but if you see someone on TikTok with a caption and you can think of something that comes along in your mind that you can relate to and make it your own, that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I tailor my jokes to DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Gotcha. Do people find it hard to take you serious?
Yes. I mean, I would love them to take me seriously, but they don't take me seriously because they instantly see the social media, they see the outlook from the outside looking in. They don't know what's inward looking out. They don't see me just being here by myself, just hitting people up off the humble, saying they want to do this. And all they see is the Instagram likes, they see the views, and they think I'm this guy on a pedestal. I'm just your average Joe, you know what I'm saying?
So I was thinking about it. I looked at one of your reels and I said, how long does it actually take to produce this? Because I think you did one, you were in PG Mall, I think you might have been Montgomery County Mall. And I was like, how long does it take for you to actually make a 2-minute reel?
So, to be honest, if I have to do the skit the same day, take about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But the longest skit I ever did was probably my Mo Rudo interview on YouTube. So it was me dressed up as an Naruto character, and I was interviewing everybody. So I actually got on the computer and used Premiere Pro, and I actually edited it on a computer versus using my phone. And it was so simple, but it was
time consuming.
Time consuming, yes. It was not as quick as I thought it would be versus on the phone. So if I did, now I've taken the lessons that I've learned from Premiere Pro and put it to the phone, and I just need to upgrade my phone, and I got 4 HD videos, you know what I'm saying?
So you're not really, you're not only just a comedian, but like you actually went to school to study this.
Yeah, for sure.
The digital aspect of it. And because I know a lot of young folks, oftentimes they see something on social media and they think that you automatically can just produce something. But no, you've actually worked on your craft.
For sure. It's not easy. I can teach it and make it look easy, but it's not easy.
Right. Where do you see yourself going with comedy?
With all the money I make from comedy, I want to buy my mama a house and then get myself a house. That's my goal. Once I get those two, everything should fall into place. Nothing. That's how I feel. That's my famous. That's my goal. I don't care about followers. Of course, I want to hit 10K. I want to hit 10K. But I do. It's never been my obsession to just have followers on the social media website, because in this a power outage for the rest of the year, I don't have Instagram. What I'm supposed to use?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I still have their number, but it's not the same technique.
Do you see yourself doing stand-up? Do you want to do television, movies? Do you want to write?
I want to do them all, but I really like hosting. Hosting is really my cup of tea. Like I really can connect with a crowd just from looking at people in the crowd and just making eye contact. I can tell what they're going through sometimes just from like the content I'm bringing up. You know what I'm saying? But one of the biggest places I performed at was definitely UDC.
Okay.
UDC for homecoming, and to perform on UDC stage was top tier. It was beautiful, man.
Sound like you got a good check out of that too. Well, my name is Salim Adofo. You're watching Rhythm of Justice Television. We need to take a break. We'll be right back.
You've seen them all across North Carolina. They come from all origins and backgrounds, just like you and me. They work on farms, in hotels, shops, in your neighborhood. But when you look closer, you'll see it's not by choice. Human trafficking victims are forced, fooled, or frightened into performing labor or sex acts for money. You can help when you know what to look for. Learn the signs of human trafficking at projectnorest.org.
Welcome back to Rhythm of Justice Television. I am your host, Salim Adofo. This is where art meets activism. We are here with DC's own Anderson Hall, internationally, soon to be internationally recognized comedian.
Yes, sir. One day. I can't wait to be in Dubai doing a comedy.
What would you say is your greatest moment as a comedian thus far?
Greatest moment as a comedian, it has to be the ability that my mom wants to do TikToks with me.
Wow.
That's so much fun. That's every video we do is always top tier. I love doing this TikToks with my mom because it gives me a sense of like I can be myself in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to hide my family from the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can have them in the forefront and they can defend them, they can hold their own.
How does your family feel about you being a comedian? Did they take you trying to be funny serious at first?
The first show I invited them to, they didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
So when I was on the TV doing a comedy skit, they were just laughing, cracking up. Because the first skit I did was KKK Roommate. It's on Amazon on the Val Michaels show. The KKK Roommate, and the concept was basically a black man acting as a KKK member, but he's doing it because he's a actor. He's an actor. He's practicing acting skills. But then they actually see a real KKK member in the room, and that's what makes it funny.
Right. What would you say has been your most difficult moment as a comedian?
Difficult moment. It's outside the comedy, I guess. Okay. It was one time where I was harassed by someone, and it got taken to. My thanks for the police got taken as disrespect for the person that was harassing me, and everybody says you should have did this, you should have did that. But it's always easier to say what the movie could have been like after you watched it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I was feeling about it. And some people took it the wrong way and what's it called? Deframe like said bad things about my name. Defame.
Right.
Yeah. So they were just defaming my name, just calling me out like you do this, you do that, and I was just taken aback at like how simple an Instagram post can change people's feelings about you easily.
Right. How do you feel about what you see in comedy now in terms of like on social media, for example, because we see people do a lot of different skits. I've seen some stuff where they're like prank gold diggers.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Is that
your
area?
So those type of videos are always clickbait. I love clickbait videos because they're always hilarious. But the ones I'm talking about for comedy, like they're taking just straight comedy. Right. It's not so much you just have to have an emotional string to it. And if you do physical comedy, you have to do some acting with your body. Okay. So those are the two essential comedy ones I like to do. I like to do physical comedy, and I like to play on people's emotions when they don't know what to expect next. So like when you say knock knock, you say who's there?
Oh, who's there?
You just that moment right there, you're like, whoa, who's there? You know what I'm saying? that moment is just gets you riled up for the next next point.
How do you handle hecklers?
Down back, fat face, little chin, fat foot. You know what I'm saying? Just go back at them.
Because we see that some comedians lose it when they get a heckler, and then they don't know how to respond, and then their whole career is shot because they don't know how to handle it.
I'm not that famous. I haven't had nobody just heckle me during the whole show. They may have said a joke here and there, like haha, you know, but it wasn't nothing that had me distraught to get out my character during a comedy show.
Do you remember the comedian Sinbad?
I look just like him.
I can see that.
I look just like him.
The reason why I asked is Sinbad made it a point to not use profanity. Mm-hmm. Do you find it difficult to create content without using profanity?
Creating content, no.
Okay.
Making music, yes. And stand up when I have to perform my music is hard to not without.
Why is it hard?
Because a lot of my music, I have a couple of songs with just no profanity. But I have songs that do have profanity, and just to get the point across, I have to sometimes say that. So, you know, you don't have to yell it, but you can just say it and then get the point across.
Do you think there's a way to get your point across without it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure. I pride myself on not cussing sometimes.
Well, the reason why I ask is because one of the platforms that I'm used to seeing you on is Instagram, TikTok, social media platforms. And so many of our young people gain their introduction to the world through social media, whether it be relationships, finance, sports, anything intellectual. And I'm wondering, how can we shift the culture to be something, more positive, or at least not to incite violence and all of the other issues that we have. So, a lot of times I just want to know, is there something that we can do, in those spaces? And you being an influencer and having, the ear of the people, do you think that you have a responsibility?
I have a responsibility to the youth,
Okay.
for one. I have to give back at all times.
Right.
And I feel as though if we have like organizations that come together to play with the youth,
right.
not no wild stuff, but like to come play with the youth, to teach them the techniques, just have like the John Walls, Bradley Bills come to a rec center.
Right.
Hey, this is what we expect from you. Do you want to be like us one day? You got to be able to do this. Just give it to them hardcore. Right. Like you got to be able to make 20 and 2s. You got to be able to run this amount. You got to be able to bench this much. You got to be jump this high. Like just give them the statistics so they know, coming from a person they believe in, that they can see themselves idolizing. Like if a Shaq came to you saying, "Oh, you want to play like in the NBA? Make sure you drink my milk." That's not a way to perfect them. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's more like a Kobe. If you saw Kobe, you'd be like let's go in the Mambas mentality. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like that's how I want our celebrities to come back and reach through. There's no way world hunger should be still going on when we have over 200 billion in our defense bond. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? 7 billion easily. 7 billion will end our world hunger.
Who are some of your favorite comedians? Give me your top 5.
Top 5.
Dead or alive. Top 5.
Dead or alive. One, I gotta go. Paul Mooney.
Why Paul Mooney?
Just the wisdom he had in every comedy joke, and it was so offensive, but it was so funny.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've seen Paul Mooney live multiple times, watched some of his stuff, and I didn't know if he was telling jokes or if he was ranting, or if he was just trying to give me a history lesson. But it definitely was funny. So okay, you get +5 for that.
Paul Mooney number 1. Dick Gregory, I met him personally. He's a good guy.
Why Dick Gregory?
He told it like it was back when you weren't supposed to tell it like it was. Okay. So that's what I like about him. Richard Pryor, obviously. Deion Cole.
Okay, who's that?
He's a local Saturday Night Live. He's a writer for what's the TV show with Anthony Anderson?
Okay.
Blackish.
Blackish.
That's the other black guy on Blackish.
Yes.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. His co-worker in Blackish. Right. Okay. So that's Deion Cole. He's hilarious. Like if you watch any of his stand-ups, you're gonna cry laughing. Okay. Like he's gold. And then I like Lavelle Crawford. Lavelle Crawford, he got the no neck. You know what I'm saying? He hilarious. So funny story. So at South Carolina State, he came to our auditorium for a comedy show. I was a freshman, and they dared me to go down there and say hey to him while he's performing. I'm like, why would I do that? Like, so he put out some money. He was like, $20. Go ahead. Gave it to me right there. I was like, all right, bet. Ran down the steps, shook his hand. He greeted me like it was nothing, like it was normal. And like he just hugged me, and everybody saw it on the stage, and then I left because I didn't want to, I wasn't supposed to be there. But I felt that energy when I met him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, okay, maybe I'm supposed to be doing something with this.
Gotcha. I like Chris Rock, for sure.
Chris Rock?
I like the political nature.
Oh, that's definitely you.
It's not that because I like politics, but more so is that he's able to point out like the contradictions in a lot of things. Mm-hmm. That's why I like that. I like Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy's hilarious.
I like Eddie Murphy. I like Cedric the Entertainer's stand-up.
Stand-up.
I like his stand-up.
Stand-up TV is nice. I like this TV show back in the day on Fox, Mashed Potatoes and Corn. I forgot what it was called.
I like Dave Chappelle's shows.
Pause.
Okay.
Dave Chappelle shows puts me to sleep.
Wow.
Like live, I went to when he had the show in Baltimore.
Okay.
I went there, fell asleep. I was wide awake. I took a nap before I even came. Like I was wide awake, but it was so dry, monotone. You got to listen to it. It was like.
Well, I mean his television shows. I don't like his stand-up that much.
Yeah, but his television shows are awesome.
Now, I'm going to tell you who I'm starting to find funny. Ali Sadiq and Ryan Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think those are two
for sure.
up-and-coming folks. Now, somebody from my childhood that I always thought was funny, and maybe because I was young and he told dirty jokes, was Rodney Dangerfield. So I'm gonna get you some
That's
Rodney
a Rodney
Dangerfield
Dangerfield,
VHS
bro.
tapes, and you're gonna check them out.
And I meant to honorary mention Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, oh, okay, I'll give you some Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac.
He's all right to me. But we need to take one more break. You're watching Rhythm of Justice Television. I'm your host, Salim Adofo. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Rhythm of Justice Television. I'm your host, Salim Adofo. We are here with DC's own Anderson T. Hall, who is an internationally, soon to be internationally recognized comedian. Now, at the time we're recording, there is something special that is taking place in your family. What is it?
Everybody, my sister just got engaged. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Well, tell your sister I said congratulations.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll be able to get some new material and content.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't bring your camera in there when she's giving birth, though.
Oh, man. No.
At least let her have, one moment.
Yes, sir.
All right, but now my question for you is: when you saw Will Smith go upside Chris Rock's head, what were you thinking?
I can't believe this. Like, it was shocking. I thought it was a part of the act.
I did too.
I thought it was a part of the show because everybody was laughing, ha. But then, like, Will Smith smacked me. He was like, "Oh, Chris Rock, you got smacked." But the only thing I do like about it, Chris Rock's tickets went up.
That did happen. Do you think there's a line you can cross as a comedian?
There's no line you can't cross.
How so?
It's going to be backfire for whatever you say, but there's no line you can't cross as a comedian. Like, I can talk about different things as long as I know what I can back up. As long as I have the knowledge to back up what I'm talking about, cool. But if I venture off into something and I say something in left field that I have nothing to know about, like the Angels from the Los Angeles Angels won the Super Bowl. That doesn't make sense, you know what I'm saying? But it's come from left field, you know what I'm saying? They don't know. I have to be in Los Angeles for that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we had a situation where we had a woman comedian and a man comedian make some jokes about children with a disability, and they were canceled.
Touchy.
They got canceled.
They got canceled?
Well, people tried to cancel them. Do you think that was crossing the line?
It depends on the setting. If you have kids there and you talk about handicap jokes, no, that's not cool. If it's an adult comedy club and you talk about that and you're a comedian, there should be no thin line between, unless it has to be when you make a joke as a comedian, it has to come full circle.
Okay.
If it doesn't come full circle, you're not hitting the joke. It's not hitting. It's not going to hit if it doesn't hit full circle. You start with the plot. You get them up, eat them up. Then you go all the way around. Just come back to it. You know what I'm saying? I can say a joke. Hold on, let me think. Okay. If you was a pencil, where would you be from?
Eraser, Michigan.
Pennsylvania. See what I'm saying? You got to make it full circle. You have to have pencil in the beginning and the end.
Got you.
Yeah.
So as you develop your content and you write, do you feel like you have enough now till you could go do a Anderson Hall special?
I don't have an hour and 30 in me yet. I can bust out a 30-minute comedy special with some special guests. You know what I'm saying? We can do a 4 people show, but I'm not trying to headline for comedy just yet. I haven't struck on like a pure joke that's going to like always going to hit them.
Have you ever heard of Robert Townsend?
The actor?
Yes.
Yes.
So he had a series in the 80s, Robert Townsend Partners in Crime. a little bit of stand-up, then they had some skits.
Okay.
You know, that would get you to the hour. And I didn't know the composition or makeup of what, you know, went into trying to come up with, you know, material to cover this time frame. But I thought, you know, that was genius. Do you see yourself being able to do a combination of that? You can do, you know, partially some stand-up and some skits?
For sure. Definitely. That'd be kind of cool.
And, like
you talking about, like, have 3 comedians and then have skits in between?
however you would curate it.
That sounds cool.
And what goes in to coming up with putting something together like that? Because, you know,
Money.
Okay.
If money's not there, nobody's showing up.
Right.
You can invite whoever you want. If you don't have the money, the price set, sent it out, nobody's gonna listen.
I ask because some people I've heard say it's one thing to be able to do something on Instagram. That's another thing to be able to be at the DC Improv, for example, and
Right.
now you got to work this crowd.
Right. It's two different lanes. You can use your Instagram jokes in the DC Improv,
Okay.
but it just gotta hit. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be funny and most of my jokes come from myself. Like all my personal stories. That's why I get my bread and butter. Just telling my personal stories.
Do you plan to go on tour?
Not yet, but one day we're going on tour.
Right, because I think that it was called the Chitlin Circuit at one point. Where folks would set up shows in different, you know, comedy clubs, you know, throughout the country, and they would, you know, go on tour to some of these spaces.
Fun.
Not the chitlin part, but, you know,
No,
just being
definitely
on
not
the
a
circuit.
chillin'. Definitely not a chillin'.
Well, we are almost running out of time.
No.
Tell us what we can look forward to you coming up in the future.
Okay, what you can look forward from me in the future, I'm going to have y'all dying laughing. I'm going to be on TV with Salim. And then we're going up, not going back down, going straight to the top. You can find me at Andy the Boss on Instagram, ANDY, period, THE, period, BOSS. And that's Instagram. It's the same name on TikTok, but just the number 7 at the end.
Well, we've run out of time, but we definitely want to thank you for coming on the show. We greatly appreciate it. You're watching Rhythm and Justice Television. This is where art meets activism. Once again, we want to thank our special guest, Anderson Hall, and we will see you all next week. Peace.